Welcome everyone to Hit the Bar, the unfiltered football show. First things first, we've been blown away by the support, by the views, the likes, so thank you so much for supporting Hit the Bar. And if you're watching right now, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that you catch every single episode as soon as it's released. I'm Mac and I'm your host, and you'll notice that I'm wearing a hat today after being told I look like an 80s porn star by last week's Man of the Match, Schmeichel. That's the last time I'll be selecting him as Man of the Match. Alongside Smiley, we have Cully, Liverpool fan, Harver, Man United fan, Hammy, Leeds United fan, and last but no means least, we have Manny Neville. Manny, straight over to you. Last week, you caused a lot of controversy talking about how Gary Neville is as good as Trent in terms of delivery. You've had a chance to sleep on it now, and I want to give you the opportunity to make a statement and maybe take back what you said or stand by it. How do you feel about what you said last week, Manny?
Probably went a bit too far in terms of Neville's delivery, but I'm still staying on the fact that as a right back, I'd have Neville over Trent just because I want my right back to defend. Yeah, and he's the best ever in the Premier League today.
Part of Hit the Bar is we do select a man of the match for each week, but we also have a worst of the week award. And last week that happened to be Manny. And what happens is if you get the worst of the week, the rest of the panel decide what your forfeit is, and you have to do that. So I'm about to share with you.
I know it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. I know it is.
Manny's forfeit. So
wait. There seems to be a dickhead on. Oh yeah, it's Manny. Yeah, go on.
Right, doing this challenge, lads. Don't think I was the worst performer on the day, but because Cully and Hammy are like this, even this, yeah, means got to do this. Yeah, the challenge was to wear a Liverpool top and sing "You Never Walk Alone." I've got obviously Liverpool top here. And the only place that I can wear this is here.
Didn't you say that was your niece's top? You're fucking wronging.
Where the badges were there.
You're a fucking wronging.
Walk on from United with all in your heart, maybe. And you'll never walk alone, 'cause Fergie ruined your childhood, and it took you 30 years. Won't get anyone but me.
Oh my god.
Oh, that is quality.
Oh my god.
That is quality.
let's go straight to you, Cully. What's the
Well, I
reaction?
You know what? Fair
forfeit.
play. He's done it. He did it in a fucking
He
quite
really-
weird way, but he's done it. So my respect, man. Fair play.
Yeah, he followed the terms and conditions.
He did. I can't knock
Saw some loopholes.
Fucking terms and conditions must have been in Punjabi, bro, because that ain't what we asked him to do. But fair play, he's still done it, man. You know what I mean?
I am talking about facts. I am not talking about my impression.
Lads, we're going to
Fair play,
move on to the facts section now. So everybody sent me a fact that we're going to talk about here. We're going to get people's opinions. Manny's fact was Manchester United are the first side in Premier League history to win 4 consecutive games by a margin of 3 or more goals, with the last team to do that in the top flight being Liverpool in October 1987. So the first team in Premier League history to win 4 in a row with over 3 goals. Now, coming on to that, is that just a nice stat, or is that a big deal here? I mean, is that just one of those things that kind of just happen, or is that a big deal, Smiley? Is that something you're really proud
Who
of?
have they played in those last 4 games? They've not. I can't think they've played anyone big, right? I think
Say the exact same thing, Smiley. Yeah.
You know, I don't think they've played anyone big. I think they've played
Once Brighton a big game.
Aston Villa, Brighton. Oh, I can't remember who the other 2 must
Basically,
be.
they played Bournemouth, right? Aston Villa, Southampton, right? And Crystal Palace. Well, they're coming up to Crystal Palace, aren't they?
So
And
basically,
Brighton.
teams that are battling relegation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Southampton. Yeah, fair enough. They're flying at the moment. Ings is doing bits for them at the moment. But I think the rest of them, I think you'd expect a Man United squad to beat them, by even though last week my predictions were awful for the Villa and United, but you'd expect them to do it, won't you? And no, I think that stat's irrelevant. I think that's they are flying, but they're irrelevant.
Coming to you, 'cause you actually sent me the same stat as well as Manny, so I'd be interested to hear your opinion. Is it a big deal or is it being overhyped, that stat?
I don't think it's a big deal. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that stat's going to say we're the best team ever. Nothing like that. But like Smiley said, you'd expect United to beat them. Yeah, you would, but you wouldn't expect United to go batter those teams, especially from where we've come from. You've got to remember, start of the season, we were shit. Like, we drew to Aston Villa and everyone was smiling, laughing. And now we're putting teams aside and we're putting them straight away. So I think it gives a glimpse to say, you know what, this Man United team is dangerous. And it was nice to see in the group chat that suddenly a couple of lads were like, shit, this United team could be a bit dangerous here. So I think that starts just showing that, you know what, if it clicks like it has, yeah, teams are in trouble when you got a top 4 or 5 world-class players. Then,
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but did United, they never really, they've had good games against the top 6, right? They've not really struggled, and they've always sort of, well, not always, but they struggled against the bottom at the start of the season. Now it seems like you've flipped it around, and you've got compared to the other teams fighting for the 4th and 5th spot, you've got the easiest run. And
I still, on that, Smiley, I'm still confident against the top 6 than I am against the bottom 6, and that's purely because the way we've now got a team. If you think of it, right, we were set up to counter attack, and if someone sat behind the ball, we were stuck. We just didn't know what to do. We had a midfield of Mata, Lingard and Pereira. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That goes down in the top 3 worst Man United midfields. And then now suddenly you've got Pogba, Fernandes, Matic. If you sit behind the ball, you're in trouble. And if you're attackers, with the pace the top 3 have got, we finally look like a Man United team.
What it is, right, yeah? I think credit where it's due, Man United have been playing well, right, yeah? But I think your biggest victory here is that you won 3-0 against Sheffield United, right? Look at the teams that you've played. All right, you've won by 3 goals or more. If you're not beating them teams by 3 goals or more with the team that you've got against teams that you're playing, then there's questions to be asked.
I just want to add to this as well.
Look where you've fallen to in terms of fans, right? That you're beating these bottom of the table, bottom quarter teams, and you're getting excited about it.
Yeah,
this is United fans that we remember.
This is what I was about to say, right? Listen, hear me out. I love busting balls, I'll tell you now.
Let Cully have his say. Cully, what you say?
United, 4 games in a row, 3-0 at a time, yeah? Yeah, what trophy are you going to win for that? No, what trophy are you going to win for that? Well done, 4 games. Are you going to win the Premier League with it? No. Do you win the Champions League? No. Are you going to get put into the World Cup? No. Chill the fuck out. It's 3-4 games that you've won 3-0. Chill the fuck out, man.
Don't even get in the World Cup, Cully. But
Man probably thinks you can. But that fact is
that's not
dumb.
Yeah, but that's not the point, though. Like Hammy said, Hammy just stood on his own feet from last week, because Hammy agreed last week that the Premier League's stronger now than it probably ever has been. And now you're saying that beating teams 3-4-0 means nothing. That's bollocks.
Who are the teams that you've beaten, bro? Are these teams competing for Europe?
But they're struggling teams. These teams are struggling. They're struggling.
Oh.
I think
predictions last week.
It's like playing 11-a-sides with 7-year-olds and saying, yeah, we smashed them 3-0. Do you know what I mean? It's 3-4 games winning 3-0 against dead.
I think the thing in that fact is that it's never been done before. Yeah. So if we're saying it's the standards of the team, yeah. So we're saying that the standard of them teams that Man U played obviously is not up to the standard that it should be. Are we then saying that over all these years with all these top teams in the Premier League, why has it not been done before?
Listen, if you're playing top 6 teams,
you'll have a run. You'll have a run. Every team has a run against lower teams, lower opposition teams. Liverpool have it. City have it. Arsenal have it. Every team has it. You normally look at the fixtures each season and you see.
Can I just say something?
We're going to play 3 shit teams, yeah, or 4 shit teams. I think obviously it's a record. It's not going to win anything. It's a record. But I think the exciting thing about it is that United are starting to play the United way that we probably knew a few years ago.
After 4 games, quickly, everyone, let's get excited. I'll tell you right now, this is the truth, yeah. Man United fans are all getting excited again because they're starting to play Bruno, Pogba, and everyone else, right? Front 3 are scoring goals. That's the reason why you're getting excited over such a little small thing. That's the fact. Are Man United playing good football? Yes, they are. Is it worth bragging that you've beaten 3 probably
No.
Bottom 10 teams, 3-0, 4 games in a row. What the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
No, it's not though. You've got to remember though. I don't think me and Manny sat there and went, yeah, that's the stat. But that was a stat that got bandaged around as soon as United won. So someone's obviously sat there and
That's a
went,
shit
you know
start,
what?
man.
Right,
It's a shit start.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
How the mighty have fallen, beating 3 teams relegation zone, fucking 3-0 each. Woo.
I think
we're back though.
the thing with that is, I think that, like Harvey says there, that stat has been bandied around a lot, and it's really interesting to get the guys' opinions, because it's one of those stats where on the surface it sounds like it should be impressive, but when you break it down, I think overall, is it massively impressive? You know, it's good to beat teams, of course, 3-0, whatever it is that they're beating them, but I think the thing that United fans are getting behind that stat is, I think it's for them, it shows signs of improvement where they desperately needed that over the last few seasons. So coming on to the second stat, and this kind of plays into last week a little bit, where we picked our best 11 based on Liverpool winning the current league this season, Man City's 100-point season, Man United's treble winning, and Arsenal's invincibles. Cully, your stat was no keeper, other than, this is about Allison, no keeper has kept more clean sheets at 13 than Allison has in the Premier League. He didn't make it into our 11 last week, but that stat is very impressive, seeing that he missed so many games at the start of the season.
He's missed a third of the season, and he's still kept more clean sheets, and he's missed a third of the season. This is why I said last week, right, about Schmeichel. Yeah, he deserves to be in that team, don't get me wrong. But the defence that he had and the defence that Alisson has in front of him, you know, both great defences, innit? Has Schmeichel ever been voted into Europe's best team or goalkeeper of the year? Anything like that? No, he hasn't, but Alisson repeatedly has. I think there's another stat, Mac, there's another stat about Alisson. I sent you another stat about Alisson about, I think he's lost one game at Anfield 3 years ago or something, and it was when he played for Roma.
Right, that's right.
That's how good a keeper this guy is, and you lot just are not giving him the credit. He is fucking world class, man.
He's underrated. He's the most underrated keeper, I'd say, for a while.
Would you go as far to say he's currently the best keeper in the world right
Easily.
now?
Easily. Oblak just had one good game. Oblak is a wicked keeper for Atletico Madrid, and he showed up, right? And we didn't even have Oblak in. We didn't even have Alisson in net when we played him in the Champions League. He was injured. We had Adrian, second choice keeper. Oblak was made to look good by Liverpool's finishing. Is he a world class keeper? Absolutely. Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world. It's proven. He is the best keeper in the world. He's in all the European teams. Every single time there's a vote, the best striker in the world, the best defender in the world, best keeper is Alisson. 2 stupid, amazing stats, which Schmeichel has never done. Has Schmeichel won more leagues? Yeah. Has he won more trophies? Yeah. But look at the stats, man. On an individual basis, don't base it on your team. Individual basis, Alisson is the best.
The other thing is, you've got to look at it from a point of view of 90s football and the football that's been played today. Keepers got a different game. They've got to be a different type of player. They've got to be able to play with their feet. They've got to be able to spread the ball really quickly. They've got to start attacks, right?
But we've seen that.
He was good with his hands. Fair dues. He was big. He bossed his defence about. He didn't take anything from no one, right? Alisson's a different type of player. And Alisson, he's a different class. He from in this modern age, he is a different class, and he's a type of keeper that managers want in their team. End of.
Did Man United miss it when Alisson knocked a ball over about, God knows, 60, 70 yards? Salah runs onto it. Little Daniel James trying to keep up with him, gets brushed aside, and goal scored. Liverpool end up winning 2-0 or 2-1, whatever it was. Bro, Alisson is different.
We've seen Edison do that for the past 2-3 seasons. We've seen Edison do that.
Edison's distribution is better. Edison's distribution is better, but he's still not Brazil's number one.
At the moment, if you're looking at the Premier League, how you look at your keepers, you look at Kepa. Fuck knows how he's got into being into absolute fraud of a keeper. The guy's about 5'5", right? And he's honestly, I don't know how he's got into that Chelsea squad. I'd rather have a stick and a post in there. And then you've got, obviously, Alisson, Edison, De Gea was floating around there, but then he's fallen massively.
Big time.
Leno was mentioned in there a few times. And then you've even got...
Leno?
He's injured now. Unlucky lad. Martinez's not doing a bad job, let's be honest.
It's all right.
You've got this Henderson, you've got Pope, you've got these kind of, what do you call it, keepers that are there that are just absolutely smashing bits. I do think that Alisson is the best keeper in the world, but he needs to be consistent. in order to be amongst the greats of, you know.
How is it not consistent? Read the stats again, Mac. How is it not consistent?
It's been how long has it been there? 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, but how is it not consistent?
It needs to be a consistent level.
You're saying it in terms of winning trophies over and over again to be consistent. Read the stats again. There's no keeper in history that has done that. Schmeichel never did that. Schmeichel never got the individual honours.
Did Schmeichel win a flipping player of the season? Yeah, Schmeichel won a player of the season as a goalkeeper.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, he won a player of the season as a goalkeeper.
5 points for you, mate. Yeah.
And that's ridiculous, yo.
Alisson's a better keeper than Schmeichel, boys. Alisson's a better keeper than Schmeichel. No. On an individual basis.
Never.
Go around the table, Mac. Go around the table. Alisson or Schmeichel, go around the table.
Hammy?
I think you've got to give Allison another couple of seasons. If he ends up doing what Schmeichel did over his career, right, then yeah, fair dues, I'll say that.
But right now?
Right at this moment in time, he's had a couple of good seasons. Greatest of all time. I think you've got to give somebody a bit more of a kind of a lifespan before you make that decision. So personally, I can't say that Alisson is the all-time greatest keeper because
so you're going for Schmeichel.
He's nowhere near what Schmeichel. so
you're going for Schmeichel.
At the moment, for me, still Schmeichel, like we said last week.
Because he's played more games, because he's done it for longer.
But he kind of done the way he is all time. I think he's got the potential and a lot more to be the all-time great keeper.
I don't think you've got to tarnish one. I think if you think Alisson, for me, right, he's underrated because he's got Van Dijk in front of him. So people automatically assume that Van Dijk's doing everything. Alisson's unreal goalkeeper, but you can't say he's better than Schmeichel. Schmeichel won Player of the Season. Has Alisson won Player of the Season? No, he hasn't. So then that argument's invalid anyway in terms of awards. Different eras, different goalkeepers, but no one can take away from Schmeichel because every striker that played against him said they hated it. Do you know what I mean?
I already agreed saying Schmeichel should be in the team based on what it is now, but Alisson's a better keeper, bro. Because Schmeichel did it for such a long period of time, there's a difference. There's a massive difference. You could be a one-season hit wonder like Michu. Did he do it the second season? No, he didn't. Do you get what I mean? Alisson, the stat that Alisson's got, tell me when Schmeichel's done that. Tell me when Schmeichel's done that. You can't because he hasn't. Exactly.
I never really followed Alisson when he was at Roma, but obviously everyone remembers the game when Liverpool absolutely destroyed Roma. And everyone there was questioning, going, do we really want, and even Liverpool fans were going, do we really want this keeper? We've just banged, what was it, 7-5? I don't know how many goals past him. Yeah. Do we really want this keeper for that amount of money? And he's answered his critics, I suppose. Everyone knows that Liverpool have got one of the best defences in the world, but a goalkeeper needs to be paid attention for the whole 90th minute. And when he's called upon, he pulls out the some great saves. But Schmeichel, for me, has been doing that consistently.
Personally, I think we're going down a bit of a kind of a hole here where we don't need to kind of really delve into because Schmeichel.
That's it, yeah. Schmeichel's the best keeper, man. Go around the table, Cully. Next one, next fact.
You know what I mean? It's
Schmeichel's the best keeper. Sit the foot down, man.
Next fact comes from Smiley. I think we can have this keeper debate for forever because it's such a hot topic, and I think there's arguments both ways here. I definitely can see both sides of this argument, and it's a toss up between the two. Smiley's fact is, since Arteta took over, the Premier League table Liverpool would be top with 31 points. Man City would be second with 22. Arsenal would be in joint second place with 22 points. That stat really goes to show, in a way we're talking about the Man United stat, that's showing signs of improvement. That's what that stat's really doing for that league table since Arteta's taken over, Smiley. It kind of, for me, I don't know if everyone else feels like this, it's kind of going unnoticed. I don't really feel like Arsenal are making a lot of noise, but
it's not. It's because of where we are. Yeah, it's because of where we are in the league. If Arteta joined when we were third, or when we were fourth, it could have been potentially a lot more noticeable. I think it's hope for Arsenal fans more than anything, especially for me. I didn't know that Arteta was actually doing that well through his reign until I saw that particular stat. Everyone needs a rebuild. Klopp needed a rebuild. Any new manager coming in, they need a rebuild. Ollie's obviously been in there a bit longer than Arteta, and look, they've gone 4 games and smashed 3 goals past some shit teams.
Whoa. Yo,
So,
Manny, run the table from January. I guarantee you we're the top or something.
no, so what I'm saying is, it's hope more than anything. We've well, Arteta's. I was, like I said last week, I was upset that we didn't get Ancelotti and we got Arteta instead. But now, you can see the difference in the football that we're playing. You can see the difference in the results that we're getting. Yeah, we are still losing the odd one to here, to Brighton and this and that. But you can see the difference in the football we're playing, and it's a good change.
It seems to be doing bits. If he's learned anything from Guardiola, which he must have, there's a real sign. And I know Guardiola sings his praises of how good he is and what a difference he made to that backroom staff that they had at Man City. This leads naturally onto the debate that we're going to talk about here, is the top 3 managers to ever manage in the Premier League. Now, Arteta's not there yet. We know that, but there is some big names that have been in the Premier League. They might have managed elsewhere, but we've been blessed with managerial talent in the Premier League. I think that the debate has to start with Sir Alex, doesn't it? I think when we're talking about who's the best manager to ever manage in the Premier League, is it just a given that he takes top spot?
100%.
Yeah.
So
there's no argument to that.
And I the champion. And he gives the ball.
There's no argument to that at all. I think Alex
Ferguson's on the
pedestal by himself.
Do you listen to it again, Colin?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
I'll send you it, bro. Yeah.
No, Tiga, bro. Tiga. Randy.
He seems to be in a league of his own at the moment, Alex Ferguson. I think that's fair. No matter what team you support, no matter how much of a fan you are, you can't deny his achievements. And I think the thing with Ferguson is reinventing teams over and over and over again. I think the interesting thing is the next 2 spots in this top 3.
Can I just throw a spanner in the work just to be devil's advocate? Would Fergie have done the same or reached the same had he joined or managed another team?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think I saw it start.
Was hot. It was.
Can I be the devil's advocate again?
Just say you're going to be the smiley, innit? Fucking hell.
Why is it the fact that Fergie gets the pedestal that he gets, and he says, yeah, he's done it consistently year in, year out at the same team, then why do people not have the same actions or the same debate when they talk about Messi, when they're saying...
I think with Ferguson, I saw one start and it blew me. I didn't realise, and it was literally Ferguson during...
Ferguson blew you?
No, not that way, lad. So, why... But
look at you, Harvey. You were lucky guy.
Harvey, you're choking a bit there, brother. Choking, bro. Choking.
Yo, Manny said I was a lucky guy, so I'm a bit more worried about that. So, no, but I saw, and he said that Ferguson, during his career, his win percentage was 65%. If we're talking about Klopp, right? We've all been saying Klopp's a really good manager. Look what he's doing with Liverpool. Klopp's win percentage right now is 65%. So Klopp smashed it, and he's at 65%. Ferguson did it over 20-odd years at 65%. So no one comes clear.
Fergie's the GOAT, man. Fergie's the greatest manager the Premier League has ever seen. Let's just settle that debate. Who's number 2 and 3?
That's fair.
That spot's taken and sealed.
What Klopp's doing at Liverpool, turning average players into class players or getting so much out of them, it kind of reminds me of when Wenger took over at Arsenal, because one thing, and I want to get all your guys' opinion on this, but one thing that can be thrown at both Guardiola and Mourinho is that they've always had the money to back up what they're doing. Arsene Wenger, he spent money, but Arsenal were probably the tightest team in the Premier League, or have been the tightest team in the Premier League for a long time. But you think of the players that he brought from obscurity. Vieira wasn't a big name. Petit wasn't a big name. Anelka wasn't a big name. Henry wasn't a big name. He transformed these guys. Is he the number 2 spot in this?
I think he's my number 2.
I've got him as my number.
I mean, from how he changed the Premier League from the mid-90s onwards, I think a lot of people followed suit in terms of what Wenger did in terms of the diet, the training, the mentality of the players. He changed an Arsenal team which was pretty much full of alcoholics into title-winning teams, double title-winning teams, right? To put it that way. The only thing that I think probably Wenger lacked in is the fact that he didn't win a European Cup or a European title. The other thing is, yeah, it came close in 2006 or 2005, 2006 when he took him to the final against Barcelona. But in terms of the constraints that Wenger worked with, in terms of the board, in terms of building a multi-million-pound stadium in the Emirates, right, in the mid-2000s, which, look at it now, Tottenham have done nearly, 15 years later, they've made a stadium. Arsenal did that, right, with a planning from the mid-2000s, which the planning for that stadium started in the early 2000s. So he did it looking at the board, saying, look, you've not got much money to spend, you've got to keep this team. And Arsenal fans have got to appreciate that Wenger taking them to the top 4 consistently over, 14, 15 seasons with the money constraints and not... nobody ever really heard of Wenger spending a crazy amount of money on a player. Fergie did that. Mourinho did that. Guardiola's done that. But Wenger, you never really heard of him spending on one big player. And for me, he's the Invincibles team, right? If that's not going to kind of pop it for you, what he did with that team was ridiculous, crazy. So for me, number 2 has got to be Wenger. Personally.
I agree.
Yeah. I think one thing that, from an Arsenal perspective, is he had a lot of trust in his players. Yeah. A lot of trust in his players, and I think that was the downfall for him. I think it was the fact he had too much trust in his players, you know, expecting them to sign another contract, expecting them not to leave him, you know, and that's what, you know, bit him in the arse and probably cost him a few trophies as well. You know, that you look
not being cutthroat enough like Fergie was. That in him, I think he would have been more successful.
Yeah, I think you look at the fact that you know, let Van Persie go. He probably had the utmost amount of trust. We had Van Persie in our flipping injury room for about 2 years. You know, and we could have let him go then, but we didn't. We let him sign another contract. You know, Cesc Fabregas, yeah, although he's not as hated as he is with Van Persie, but Cesc Fabregas is, you know, we released him. Song, you know, I just think he had too much trust in his players, and that's what bit him in the arse.
Malik, can I just say something? But this is why, sorry, Harbour, this is why Arsenal players have got a history of fucking Arsenal over.
Yeah.
When you look at your Ramseys, when you look at your whatever Wiltshires, or you look at your, who else is it, Cesc Fabregas's, your Robbie Van Persie's, people like that, they've all fucked Arsenal over because Arsenal have probably been too kind to them.
Yeah.
I think it's unfair. You have to admit that, you get me?
Yeah, it's unfair on Wenger, though. I think, especially as I grew up, Wenger didn't have that much success. And the stick he got was ridiculous. Like, Wenger out for 4 years. And he didn't deserve that stick because people kept forgetting that the board are not backing him. Like the Suarez thing, not coughing up an extra couple of quid to sign him. And that's bollocks. Like, if he had the backing, Wenger would have dominated the Premier League a lot more than he did. He would have had a couple of more title-winning seasons because he did go sign some world. Arshavin came and tore the Premier League apart for a bit, and Ozil came in and he tore it. And so I think if he had the backing and he didn't get the disrespect from the Arsenal fan base, which is toxic in its best, he would have won a lot more.
I think it's a shame. It's a shame how it finished for Wenger, because I think, you know, it was quite disrespectful at the end, I think, from Arsenal fans, because he'd you know, we talk about Fergie being in the top spot. This is the guy that took the title off Fergie. That is a massive achievement in its own right. A guy who's dominating for decades and decades. For that manager to come in and rip it away consistently, you know, not just do it one fluke season. It was not that. It was Arsenal were going to be his biggest challenge every single year. So I think it's fair that we've got Wenger in the number 2 spot. I think he's rightly there. So the number 3 spot, this is the interesting one for me. This is the tough one, because if you know, I think we're really is it between Guardiola and Mourinho here, Cully? And what's your opinion on who would take that number 3 spot if it's one of those two or someone else?
This is a tough one, yeah. It'd be interesting to see what the rest of the lads say. But all I'm going to say is, wherever Mourinho's gone, he's had money. Wherever Guardiola's gone, he's had money. Klopp hasn't had that. I want to make that point very, very, very clear. Mourinho came in, changed the game, defensive style, yeah, fantastic. But is his old school ways still working to this day? No, they're not. Bollocks. He didn't work at Man United. He even said the biggest achievement he's had is Man United finished second. He said that. Guardiola came in. Where did they finish? Some 6th, 7th, or whatever it was, or something stupid. I can't remember. They didn't win the league anyway. The first season, half season that he came in. But every season after that, brother, he's had money. Just to top it, just to put it into perspective, their right back was Kyle Walker. Their backup was Danilo. Yeah, 2 right-backs that walk into any team in the Premier League. He got rid of Danilo because there's a better right-back reserve in that Cancelo from Juve. He's had money, man. So I know you lot are going to think this guy's putting a fucking major spanner in the works, but I'm not putting either. Because if they went to a club and did what Klopp did, right, with a club that's not going to spend that much money, why ain't Klopp number 3? Granted, he's done it for lesser time, or he's done it a similar time what Pep's done. But they've had money, man. Bro, I'm not being funny, but if we all had a race in a car, if I've got £50,000 to spend on a car and you've got 10, I'm going to beat you in a race because I've got more money to spend. Do you see what I mean? If we're all going to have all going to IB for all the lads are competing, all right, let's see who has the best body, yeah? If you've got the best PTs and you're paying all your nutrition, you're going to be better if I can't afford that. The reality is, them two, wherever they've been, have had money. Klopp hasn't. Go back to Liverpool's net spend. So I'd honestly, as a manager, I wouldn't put either there. And that's me throwing a spanner. I would put Klopp number 3. And you can say I'm being biased, but look at it from a money perspective.
Cully's made a really well developed argument there, Manny. That's, you know, you can't deny what he's saying there. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Where are you for your third manager in this list?
I think the third manager on the list, just to counterbalance Cully's.
He's going to say Jose, I bet you money.
No, a response saying that Klopp, obviously, I know the net spend is not that high, but Klopp has had money to spend. Yeah, I think I'm sure I read somewhere it's like 400 or 500 million quid he spent. So
500 million.
Yeah, it's something like that, isn't it? So because if you think
you carry on, I'll get the stats. You carry on, I'll read you the stats.
He spent. Let's say he spent 300 million, yeah, or 350 million or whatever. Yeah, he spent 150 million on his keeper and his defender. Yeah. So
I've got the stats, Mac, by the way. So when you're done, Manny, let me know.
Yeah. So he's obviously had money, but I think between I think the third place has to be between Pep and Guardiola, just because the amount of trophies they've won, and it's just based on that.
Between Pep and Guardiola.
Sorry, did I just say that? Yeah.
Between Pep and Guardiola.
Matt, can I just tell you the stat, Matt? Let me just tell you the stat, yeah?
Let's get the stat then.
Between Jurgen and Klopp.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Keep it catchy on. Hold on. Last 5 years, Klopp's been there for 4. Last 5 years, Liverpool's net spend is 107 million. Man United, 484. Arsenal, 270. City, 601. Last 10 years, we're going back a decade, boys. Liverpool, 297 net. Man City, 1.06 billion. Yeah, billion. Man United, 887 million. Arsenal, 421 million. Let me repeat that. Last 10 years, Liverpool, 297. Last 5 years, Liverpool, 107.
There's no denying the net spend, man.
You just said Klopp spent 400-500 million. We're talking about net spend money.
No, but I said that.
We've sold players to buy players.
No, I said the net spend is obviously you can't deny that. That's what I said. I said you can't deny the net spend, but he's obviously
You said Liverpool have spent 300-400 million. Where's that gone? Bro, net spend. We could spend 300-400 million, but if we sell players for 400 million, we're zero.
What I'm just trying to say is
we can talk about the money all day. We can sit here and we could talk about the money and the spending. And at the end of the day, these clubs call these managers in because they can give them the money. Why not just give it to anyone then? Right? Why not just say, look, you've got £1 billion to spend. Let's just bring anyone in. Anybody can do a job. Because the simple truth is, the matter of fact is that not anybody can just come in and spend that money wisely and build a team that's going to contend for the title or contend for a Champions League, right? You've only got a few names in that hat. You've got your Mourinhos, you've got your Guardiolas, right? And you've certainly got your Klopps. I don't think Klopp's one of them managers that is happy to say, look, I'm going to spend this amount of money, let me buy a team. He wants to build a team from the bottom. Your Guardiolas are the kind of managers that you get instant success with, right? They don't go to a club where they're waiting 3, 4, 5 seasons. They go to a club, and the season after they turn up, they'll win you a title. They'll win you a trophy.
Because of the money.
Fair enough. Yeah, Cully, understandable because of the money, because they're the only teams that can afford their managers as well, right? But I was personally, number 3, I was going to put Mourinho because of how he came into the Premier League, right? He came in and he said, look, he came from Porto. Remember, he won Champions League with Porto, and he came in and he was cocky as anything. And he said, look, I am the special one, and I'm going to win something at Chelsea. First season he arrived, straight away won a title, right? Premier League title. There's not many managers in history that their first season turned up into the Premier League and won the title, right? What, he's got 3 titles to his name in the Premier League, and he's still got a top job at Tottenham now, right? So whether you like it or not, I think
I was going to say.
Yeah, Manny Conte won it.
I think, Hammy, I get what you're saying in terms of that. A couple of shout-outs, Ranieri, unreal, Poch. Nobody even talks about Poch, but Poch did a crazy job at Tottenham. So I think you give that. But I think it's unfair on, well, it's not unfair on Pep. Do you know what I mean? He walked into a club and he didn't say, give me 400 million. He went to a club that has money to burn. But I don't think anyone can take away what he's done in terms of the football they play. Because under Mancini, yeah, they were a good side and they won the Premier League. But he had money. They won the Premier League. But look at the difference between the Mancini side and Pep's side. Man City's been the best footballing team in England to watch for the last however many. Even this season, I'd go past saying
he's reinvented football.
Yeah,
Pep,
you can't argue it.
Do you get what I mean? What makes you a good manager?
Ninja kicked him in the fucking face.
What makes you a good manager?
I think Smiley, that's such a good point there about, you know, like we talk about money, and rightly so, because, you know, money plays a massive part in success. But the top 2 managers we've got, Ferguson, Wenger, they had a style of football. Guardiola is, you know, people struggle with Barcelona to get them to win the league. You know, there's a lot of failed managers that have been there with that team, with Messi in the team, with incredible talent available to him, that can't get a song out of that team. Guardiola's reinvented football, and I think, you know, to throw my opinion in there, I think this is where I can totally understand why Cully would say Klopp in the 3, and that even that he hasn't done it over 10 seasons, but I think because he's got a style and he's got an identity and he's taking the face of the game with what he's doing at Liverpool and developing players. The thing is, for me, though, he hasn't had enough time yet to show that. So for you, Smiley, does that mean Guardiola's your 3rd?
Guardiola's my 3rd. You look at Klopp. Klopp was at Dortmund for 7 years. He won 2 trophies. He's been at Liverpool. He's won 2 major trophies, I think. Look how many finals he's been in from Dortmund to Liverpool, and look how many he's lost. You know, yeah,
that shouldn't take away the fact though that he still got into a final though, Smiley.
Yeah, but he's lost the final. Nobody remembers the losers in finals. Nobody remembers them. Who cares? No one gives a damn about 2nd place. You talk about winners, and Pep reinvented football at Barca, put an oomph in that team. Went to Germany, changed the style of play in Germany. Come to Prem, change the style in Prem. Pep's the 3rd for me.
Yeah, I agree with Smiley. I think people forget that even now, if you watch Bayern, they've still got the core Pep philosophy there. And Man City, when Pep's gone, they'll still be playing that. They'll still have it. I think longevity and all that what we're saying. But if you say managerial ability, even if you had no money, he still made that Man City team when they finished crap. He still played better football. You know what I mean? So for me, I would say I'd go with Pep.
Boys, sorry, one thing, Macca, just one last point, right? I'm not going to keep going over the net spend thing, but you lot have all got mortgages, right? So you'll understand the importance of net spend. You can't just buy a house a fucking mortgage for £400,000, even if you're earning 100k, yet you spend 80. So get that into your head, yeah? Paul Merson, out of all the Bundy in the world, Paul Merson said it straight. I can't remember what team he used as an example, but he said, if you had Klopp and Pep managing a Rotherham or whatever it was, right? I don't even know if it was Rotherham, and I'm not taking a piss, but right, Rotherham. He will not be able to get them promoted to the Premier League, but Klopp will. That was Paul Merson. That's a proper football pundit saying it, and that none of you lot can disagree with. Net spend, being able to spend money makes a huge, huge difference, man. If Klopp had billionaire owners, Liverpool owners that are just thrashing money around, and it doesn't matter, bro, we could have bought Ronaldo, you Messi, whatever you want. We'll be winning the league, but he doesn't. What he does with such a small squad is fucking remarkable, man. No, you lot are taking the football ability away. You're looking at it from a sense that Pep's a brilliant manager, man manager, coach, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, brilliant. But he's got money, bro. He's got money. If you got money and you can't succeed, I'm sorry, but you're a fucking failure. Klopp's done it. Net spend. Look at the net spend, man.
Yeah, but you sell one house to buy another house, and then you take money from that house and you put it in that house. Yeah, and literally that's what Klopp's had. Yeah,
it's a football show, not a fucking property show.
Net spend money. Let's go. I'll do the analogy. Yeah,
the homes under the hammer. Yeah.
He sold players.
Manny's a mortgage broker, man. He's trying to fucking promote himself, isn't he?
He sold players to get money, and he's used that money to buy players.
Yeah, and look, Pep hasn't needed to do that.
you've got to give him the credit for that, and I don't think we're not denying that. But with Pep, I think obviously everybody knows Mourinho became Man U manager, innit? And I think at the time I said best manager since Fergie, yeah. But I think now, looking obviously back on that comment, I think that comment at the time was probably the right comment. But the way with Mourinho is that, and this is why he's not got in my top 3, is that he has refused to change. And his style of football is no longer the one that will be winning football. Yeah, and that's why for me, Pep gets third spot.
I think to summarize here, I think Cully, I think you've made it like such a strong case for Klopp, and it's a fair case. I think if Liverpool win another couple of Premier League titles over the next few years, I think that for me, I can definitely see putting Klopp in that mix and in the top 3. I think you made a really good case for him to be there right now, and I think that's it's a really good debate to have. But I think at halves you also mentioned how much Guardiola has changed the face of football. So the hit the bar top 3 managers right now is Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, Pep Guardiola.
Fuck the lot of you, man.
I tell you what, we've got some quality managers in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah,
they've got some right, and if Poch comes back, you've got a strong managerial lineup. But we're good to see next season everyone go against each other.
Leeds go up as well. You're gonna have Bielsa in that mix.
Bielsa as well.
World class man, world class manager.
You see what he can do in a top league next season. But
Hamid, again, going back to the point of money. He's only going to do something next season with money.
Yeah.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will, man.
He hasn't needed the money at Leeds. Because
it's a championship, bro. Championship to Premier League, it's night and day difference. If he doesn't spend money, he won't be competing for top 4 next season. You, as the most hardcore Leeds fan, cannot say that is the case.
Yeah, but Sheffield United have spent loads of money, have they? Sheffield United.
No, but I'm just saying. Are you saying that Leeds are not going to need to spend money?
No, they're going to need to strengthen in certain spaces. But I'm not saying they're going to need to spend hundreds of millions.
I never said hundreds of millions. I'm saying you're going to need to spend, though.
Yeah, they're going to have to strengthen. I think every team in the Premier League this season is going to have to strengthen to do better than what they did this season. That's just a given, isn't it?
Why aren't any of the bottom teams or mid-table teams or those pushing towards European spots gone?
You know what it is? Going on that argument about Leeds are going to need to spend money. I look at your Bournemouths, your Burnleys, and how successful. Obviously, Bournemouth are struggling at the moment, but they've been in the Premier League for donkeys. I look at how long they've been in the Premier League and constantly getting mid-table, and without really spending that much money. I don't think Leeds are a massive club. I don't think Leeds will need that much money to strengthen their club, to strengthen their team in order to be successful in the Premier League.
I think Leeds have got a problem, Smiley, because they've got 60-odd million tied up already. If they want to keep the squad they've got right now, you're talking Ben White, they're going to have to keep him. If they want like 30-odd million for him, then they've just signed Helder Costa for 15. They've got a couple of other loan players that they're going to, the goalkeeper on the side, they need 15. So they've got 60 million already stuck. So they only got, I'd say, if they come up, they will not spend more than 40, 50 million. I don't think they physically can. So, and if they
only other thing is, Harvard, if they can get some investment, like a decent investment from a big firm or from Arab, if they can get some decent, like the PSG owners were interested in investing in Leeds. If they can get something like that, then they're okay.
I mean, do you want that? Do you want to be that club?
Do I want to be that? Do I want to stay in the Premier League? Of course, I want to be that.
No. Do you want to be that?
Bring the money. Show me the money. To be honest with you, Cully, being out of the Premier League for 16 years, most year, your adult life being out of the Premier League, mate, you'll take anything in terms of to make sure that we stay in the Premier League and it's just not a one season go back to the Championship. You want to stay there, get some investment, and make Leeds the club that they actually are. They're a power. If they have the money and they can invest properly, they can be a powerhouse in that Premier League. And everybody in this group agrees with that as well.
I think you've got to be careful.
Your investors are not just being investors for the sake of basically putting a banner up saying we're advertising. They're going to give you money. Going back to that spending point, there's a difference.
How good Leeds are, boys.
How
good Leeds are, yeah.
Man, I'll be honest. That's a nice top. That. Yeah. For the football, it's a nice top for the football, 100%.
We've got quite a few Leeds fans on that joined who followed us.
Hammy's cousins, man.
I think if you ask them and said, would you rather go Premier League or keep Bielsa? I think they'd keep Bielsa for next year and stay in the
Bielsa, the kind of football that we play, man.
So that's what I mean. So if you're talking investment, if you get a PSG top investor, they want money back straight away. They want you to go buy all these players, and then suddenly Bielsa doesn't have the control that he does now. So I think an investor is not what I think. Leeds United.
I don't think we're going to have Bielsa for much longer. I think if we get to the Premier League, fingers crossed, right, we'll have him for one season in the Premier League. But I don't know how long we'll keep him longevity-wise. So I don't think we can just say, look, let's just do things because of Bielsa. We've got to do things for the future of the club. I'm talking the next 10 years. So looking at that point of view, I'm thinking if we get him to stay in the Premier League, you need money, boys. At the end of the day, it's good spending thing. You don't want to spend money. You need money to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah,
that's the end of it.
Yeah, left back. They need a left back. They need a striker. Yeah. They need another midfielder. Pablo Hernandez is their best player, but he's getting on. So they need those positions. But I think Leeds need Bielsa to stay. He'll stay a couple of seasons.
They need him to stay at least one season to cement this.
Yeah, he loves Leeds at the moment, so he's not going to go until he falls out of love with the club. But I don't think the Leeds fan base is like an Arsenal fan base. They're not as toxic to turn around and say Bielsa's shit. Even last year,
realistic.
Still behind him.
Realistic.
They're loyal.
I hope Leeds make it, man. I do honestly hope Leeds make it to the Premier League.
As a set of Yorkshire lads here, football aside, for the region, we need a big side. I think Yorkshire and the North need a huge team in the Premier League, and Leeds are that team. And we all.
It's another fixture on the calendar. You got your Leeds Arsenal. You got your Leeds Liverpool. You got your Leeds Manchester United. You got your Leeds Chelsea. They are. You know what? You don't look at West Brom Chelsea and think, fucking hell, that's a big team. You look at Leeds Chelsea or Leeds Arsenal and think, that's a big game. You'd switch on to Sky Sports to watch that game. Where I don't think anybody can deny that at the end of the day, and that's why people want Leeds back in the Premier League as well.
Shout out West Brom for the mixed grills.
Yeah.
Free promo.
I think for sure.
We definitely need Leeds back in the Premier.
We do. Leeds
the players back
now, so hopefully they'll make it. But one thing that will be fascinating this season is if Leeds do make it, and Poch does get a job at Newcastle, seeing Bielsa go up against his apprentices in Guardiola, because Guardiola talks so much about how much Bielsa's shaped his career. Poch is is heavily influenced by Bielsa. It'll be great to see Klopp, Guardiola, Mourinho, Poch, Bielsa, all these top managers. There's some of the younger managers coming through as well, Lampard and Ollie and all those kind of people mixing it. The Premier League's blessed with great managers right now, and I think it's going to be very interesting for next season. The way this works is every week we're going to be putting our predictions in for 4 games. Everyone's putting in £10 in every month, and at the end of the month, the person top of the league takes the winnings. So Hammy currently top spot with 6 points. I'm in second with 5. Harver and Manny are both joint third place with 2. Smiley as well, stuck on 2 points at the moment. Cully bottom of the league.
All right. We don't need to know the rest.
So,
Michael, where's Cully?
Holding up the table at the moment. But this week, big game, Arsenal versus Liverpool, Smiley versus Cully. Cully, let's start with you. What's your prediction for Arsenal v Liverpool?
Liverpool are going to beat Arsenal.
And score?
I'm going to say... I'm going to go... We don't tend to beat them, we tend to smash them, don't we? So I don't know whether to go 2 or 4-0. We'll go in the middle, we'll go 3.
3-0. Smiley?
Yeah.
I'm doing 2-1 Liverpool. 2-1 Arsenal, sorry.
2-1 Arsenal. Manny?
Optimistic.
I'm going 2-1 Liverpool. I just don't want to finish. I want to do this properly.
I just don't want to finish.
Put the ego to the side, man. Put the ego to the side.
It's over there. When it comes to money, it's over there.
Funny you say that. You lost a bet last year. £200 you were down, yeah?
I'm getting it back, bro. I'm getting it back this year.
You won't, bro. You won't.
I'm getting it back. 2 trophies in our cabinet end of season.
If you do, I'll pay you £100. I'll even put it on the show. I'll transfer it online.
Yes, that's it. That's all that
needs. I'd go with. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal.
2-1 to Arsenal.
Now are there?
What?
I need 3 points. What? The 1 point store. I'm going for the 2-1 Arsenal.
Hammy?
Smiley's going to pay me 10.
I'm saying 2-0 Liverpool.
I'm going to go for. I'm I'm gonna match Scully here and go for a 3-0 Liverpool win. I just feel that Liverpool are just gonna just pummel them at the moment. I think Arsenal are a bit fragile, and I think any team with David Luiz in their defence is going to struggle against that Liverpool front three.
Smiler, if Arsenal beat Liverpool, I owe you a bottle. I'll put that live. That's recorded. I'll give you a bottle if Arsenal beat Liverpool.
All right.
You cheap bastard, but if we beat you, you better give me one.
Yeah, I'll give you a bottle of Spa. Yeah.
I'll take it, bro. I'll take it.
Second game we're predicting is Manchester United versus Southampton. Southampton having a good season. Danny Ings having a great season. Harvey, let's start with you. Man United, Southampton.
I'll go 3-1 United.
Manny?
That's what I was going to say, 3-1.
Manny just copies me in these. I feel like this is rigged.
I think Southampton are going to score, but I think we'll get
You don't need to copy Mac. That's what you need to do. He's top of the lead. You should let Mac go first.
Hammy's top.
Hammy's top. Smiley, where you been?
Oh, it's Hammy top. I don't want to copy him doing anything, to be fair.
What have you got?
Manny, I'll help you out there.
Man United, Southampton, Smiley, what have you got?
I'm gonna go 2-2, you know.
Okay. And Hammy?
2-1 United.
Cully?
I think United are going to win since they're beating all the big sides 3-0 each. Yeah, whatever it is. I think your keeper's wank. Your defence is still fucking questionable. I think they will score Southampton. I think it'll be 3-1 United.
I'm going to go for Man United at home, on fire at the moment. They're looking strong. I'm going to say 4-1 to Man United. I think
another 3 goals, so that'll make it 5.
We're extending the record.
Here we go. Another fact will come out about Man United being the best team in the world for beating 5 squads by 3 goals.
Update the last one. Next game we've got we're going to get predictions for is Newcastle versus Tottenham. Cully, let's start with you there.
Newcastle, Tottenham. I feel like that's going to be a draw for some reason, man. I think 2-2.
Hammy?
I'm going to say 0-0.
Harvey?
I'm going to go for 2-0 Newcastle. I don't think Tottenham will score because they look horrendous at the moment. Newcastle play well.
Yeah, no, good team, man. Good team.
Smiley, what have you got there?
I've got 1-0 Spurs.
And Manny?
Going 2-0 Spurs.
I'm going to think this is going to be a bit of a dead kind of game. I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs. I almost wanted to say 0-0. I just think Mourinho is just playing super defensively right now. But I think they'll nick one. Final game for predictions is...
I don't really like to predict on my own team's games, to be honest.
Oh, shut up, Hammy.
We've been on.
We're doing it. Leeds.
Yeah, Hammy.
Leeds.
I don't like to test fate, to be honest with you.
Barnsley, Hammy. Come on. Let's
I'm going to say 2-1 Leeds.
Cully?
I need to know where Barnsley are in the league first.
Bottom. Yeah.
I reckon it'll be 2-0 Leeds.
Harvey?
5-0.
Fucking hell,
I'm putting it out there this week. I'm going for it.
Are you going for it, yeah?
Barnsley are shit.
I don't want to get any nizzard for Leeds United. That's why I didn't want to say anything.
Fucking nizzard. You fucking lose some Kala Jaddu or something?
For me, I'm doing a 2-0 Leeds.
Manny?
I'm doing 3-0 Leeds.
I'm going to say 4-0. I think the way Leeds played the last game, I think they're
unbelievable game that was.
Even Leeds can't bottle it from here, so I think they're just going to.
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
I want to go 3-0, not 2-0. 3-0.
Thank you very much for giving me this, and I appreciate my fans also. My wife and my girlfriend. My wife. Yeah, sorry to say, I'm so sorry, my wife.
Right, lads. So we're coming into that section of the show where it is the Man of the Match award and the Worst Performance of the Week award. So again, I pick the Man of the Match award, but the panel picks the Worst Performance of the Week. Manny's already gone, so maybe he's tempting fate here and he thinks he's...
No, I was getting a pen, Macca. I was getting a pen.
Man of the Match today, for me, is going to the person who I think has shook up the manager debate and I think made a really, really strong point and had all the facts to back it up. So Man of the Match this week. Cully, that's you.
Surprise, surprise, motherfuckers.
But that leaves the Worst Performance of the Week between Hammy, Harvard, Smiley and Manny. So everyone If you can vote, write down who your vote would go to for worst performance of the week. All right, everyone. 1, 2, 3, reveal.
I can't even read that, Manny.
Smiley.
Manny?
Oh,
Smiley Harvey.
should have gone Smiley, man.
Wait, Harvey, who have you gone?
Manny.
I went Manny just for the.
I went Manny as well.
Manny, that leaves you with another forfeit for this week.
Oh my
Manny,
God.
I didn't choose you. I chose Hammy, FYI.
This has been Hit the Bar. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share this video with people that you know. We look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much, guys.